my tabernacle, I got everything you need for the show. With my intro, so come on now. Tears if it rains, got a whole lot of chains, don't you know? This clock doesn't go, it stays on, yo. No, say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking,
it's a beautiful night, we're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Coming out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go find under the stars. It's alright, girl. If we wake up and the Sukkot breaks up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. Just run, yeah. No. Say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking, shake my besason. Ni meine Yeshua. Waters overflow from the fountains of salvation.
Beautiful night, we're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Well, who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
With my tabernacle, I got everything you need for the show. With my intro, so come on now. Tears if it rains, got a whole lot of chains, don't you know? This clock doesn't go, it stays on, yo. No, say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking,
Beautiful night, we're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Coming out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go find under the stars. We wake up and the Sukkot breaks up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. Just run, yeah. No.
beautiful night. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Well, who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Well, in my tabernacle I got everything you need for the show. With my intro. So come on now. Cares if it rains, got a whole lot of chains, don't you know? This clock doesn't go. It stays on, yo. No. Say la 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 la, and we'll go. If you're shaking, like I'm shaking.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Living out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go find under the stars. It's alright, girl. If we wake up and the Sukkot breaks up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. Just run, yo. No. Say la 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 la, and we'll go. If you're shaking, like I'm shaking, shake it mine, besazo. Ni mine, Yeshua. Waters overflow from the fountains of salvation.
Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Well, who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Well, in my tabernacle I got everything you need for the show. With my intro. So come on now. Cares if it rains, got a whole lot of chains, don't you know? This clock doesn't go. It stays on, yo. No. Say la 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 la, and we'll go. If you're shaking, like I'm shaking.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Living out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go find under the stars. It's alright.
I could listen to that all night. Actually, I did listen to that all night last night in my sleep. I played that last night at the end of services, and that's all I listened to all night long in my head. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's really beautifully done. I hope you enjoyed that as well as much as we did. It's 6 o'clock. Timekeeper's not on. Your mics are open, but that's okay. Hi, Rabbi.
Hi, how's it going?
Never had a bad day. How about you?
I might have had one or two.
Well, welcome to our sukkah. You've got one behind you. It looks familiar. I've got mine on the other angle, right?
Yeah, I have a sukkah in my, it usually takes me a day or so, and I said to my because my daughter and son-in-law are living with us now. They sold their house, but they have a place to go. Don't worry. So, anyways, I told them, I said, I just don't have the time to build a sukkah this year. And they go, really? No. Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Tell them you're doing your services on Zoom.
So 2 hours, me and my son-in-law, Jeff Bruner, put the sukkah together. So we now have a sukkah.
Yay. All right, great. Before we run out of time here, I want to ask Mona to unmute her mic. Mona.
Unmuted.
Hi, Mona.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. This is.
I miss my sukkah. I have this structure outside, but I haven't had a sukkah in years.
Well, we'll come over and build one for you after Yontif. You want us to do that?
No, thank you.
Good. All right. Thanks.
Too much work.
The offer, I guess, is the mitzvah, right? The offer.
Yeah, that's right. It takes too much time, too much work.
Zman simchatenu. This is the time for us to be joyous and happy, right? Happy. We're not only commanded to be happy, but you know what? We are, because we're going to be going into now the festival of Sukkot, where we go outside and it stopped raining. It's just wonderful. It stopped raining just in time for the festival. So Mona, would you make us join the festival now by lighting the candles for Shabbat and Yom Tov? And then we'll say the Shechiyanu together, everybody.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzipanu hadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov.
Amen.
Amen.
And the Shechiyanu, everybody. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechachiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen ve'amen. Shechiyanu, who's kept us in life, who has sustained us and has allowed us to reach this beautiful and happy moment in our lives. Mona, thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to tell you, these Shabbat candlesticks I use were my grandmother's, one of my grandmothers. I have the other grandmothers too. And I guess they're antiques.
Yeah, I would think.
And I have been using them every Shabbat since she passed away. Many years ago.
It's so beautiful to keep the neshama alive like that, right? And pass it down. I happen to know someone else in the next generation that probably could use it, right? Excellent. Yasher koach.
Yep.
All right, it's time for us to, we're going to get you to dinner so you can get back for beer. So we're going to start with our kiddush. You should have your wines poured, I guess. And you see we're outside in the sukkah, right? Rabbi Bernie, you're outside there too.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to actually, for those that are here and in their Sukkot tonight, you should be, we're going to say the Leishev prayer. Tonight is the first night, so the Leishev prayer is said before the Shechiyanu prayer is said. And again, we'll also say it again later tonight during our service for those who didn't join us for the dinner. But for all of those of you who are joining us right now, you should have your Kiddush cups poured. And if you don't, we'll wait a second. One. And now we'll begin with the Kiddush for Sukkot. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chabanu mikol ha'am v'romamanu mikol ha'sham v'kidshanu b'mitzvotav. Vatiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava Shabbatot limnucha u'moadim l'simcha Chagim uzmanim l'sason Yom HaShabbat hazeh v'et Yom Chag HaSukkot hazeh Zman simchatenu B'yahava mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'Shabbat u'moadei kodeshecha v'yahava v'ratzon b'simcha u'v'sason hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat Yisrael v'hazmanim.
Amen.
As we dwell in the Sukkah, we say the Leishev first night, and then the Shechianu. Tomorrow night, it's the opposite. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leishev b'sukkah. That's for
Amen.
those that are not only sitting in the Sukkah now, but dwelling in the Sukkah. Those of you that will be staying in there over the week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
My favorite blend of wine. Rabbi Bernie is now going to bless the children. Those of you that have children with you or not with you, it doesn't matter. You can join in with Rabbi Bernie as he will bless our children, the boys and the girls.
So if you have sons, males around you, or your children, Yesimcha Elohim Ephraim v'chim Nashe. Of course, Ephraim and Nashe were Joseph's sons, who Jacob had blessed. And for a daughter, Yesimech Elohim Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah.
And for the entire congregation, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and watch over you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
And may God shine his light upon you and be gracious towards you.
Yisarunai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God lift up his face towards you and look at you and grant you peace.
And let us all together say, Amen. So this is our Shabbat dinner, and it also comes complete with the motzi. Rabbi?
Yes. So here we have our little color here. Oh, we got to take it out of the foil. We like to heat our chali before we eat it. There we go. Just want you to know, personally baked by my daughter Cassie. She's really got this thing down, I have to say.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. All right, it's time for the meal. And I'm looking forward to this. It looked really delicious. So I'm going to go out to my sukkah now and go eat my meal. For those of you that are going to be eating in or out, it doesn't matter. There's going to be something showing on the screen for the next for 40 minutes or so. And we'll be back here at 10 of, and Rabbi Bernie is going to lead us in the Birchat Hamazon after you've had your dinner. So head on out, and we're going to share this beautiful presentation of our youth, of our kids. Oops, it's over here. It's over here, Rabbi. It's over here. Of our kids over the past few years making, I think, I'll have to find it. I'll find it. That's the wrong share. Okay. Let's share this one. The kids making Sukkot at Temple Ner Tamid over the years. Enjoy your dinner, everybody. This will keep running for a while.
friends and enjoy the view. Woo! Go Sox! with our friends and enjoy the view. Woo! Go Sox!
We're shaking the lulav now.
Shaking the lulav,
Up and down.
back and forth,
Take it into the sukkah now.
into the sukkah,
All 7 days.
but not on Shabbos.
I got the 4 species now.
Amazing,
My willow branches, yeah. I shake my myrtle now. And now I'm feeling the simcha.
I knew you would.
We're shaking the lulav now.
Shaking the lulav,
Front and back.
6 directions,
Take it back to the center now.
back to the center.
Hodul Hashem Kitov.
Kidri Elohim,
I got a bumpy little S-robe now.
yellow citrus,
You know it looks so fine.
smells so good.
It's gonna make some tasty jelly, yeah.
Banana spice,
But during Sukkot you're mine.
I know you're mine.
We're shaking the lulav now.
Shaking the lulav,
Up and down.
back and forth,
Come on in the sukkah now.
to the sukkah,
Get on under the schach.
under the sky.
Come on, invite the Ushpis in now.
Avram Avinu,
You gotta open your heart.
open wide,
I'm loving, I'm Yisrael.
Jewish people,
We're all together now.
all together now.
We'll shake a lulav now.
Shaking the lulav,
We'll shake a lulav
shaking
now.
the lulav,
We'll shake a lulav
shaking
now.
the lulav.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Did we have enough time to eat? Uh-oh, I'm gonna stop the music. I keep doing that. Hey, did you all have a nice dinner? Your mics are open.
Very nice. Then.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was very good.
It was really tasty. I thought it was really, really good. For those of us that had the dinner tonight from Todd's, from Levine's Catering, of course. And for those of you that had made it on your own, I'm sure yours was delicious too. Adele,
Yes.
you have any words of wisdom before Rabbi Bernie
Well, I
leads
have,
our birchat?
I have words, but I don't know if they're of wisdom. So, first of all, I want to thank Todd for preparing our dinner this evening. It was absolutely delicious. And also, I want a big shout out to Beth Hoffman and to Ross Teitelbaum for being at the temple with me today when people came to get their dinner. So I totally appreciate their help. They were great. And you know, Ross was on top of things before I could even get into the temple, to get into Todd's to tell him how many dinners I wanted. I think this was a fabulous way to get everybody together, a different way to get everyone together. We always have a Sukkot dinner, so why not have a Sukkot dinner, even if it's just virtual? For me, it was great. I didn't have to prepare anything. I just put it in the oven and voila, dinner was served. And it was just, you know, we're thinking about things of different things to do, you know, different things that if you can think of some things that you have some ideas, if you have some ideas about what we could do with young families to get them involved on a Friday night, you can always do a 7:00 service and just to make things wonderful for our community, because we have a wonderful community and we just have to be together even if it's in little squares or little rectangles, even if it's like that, but it's wonderful to be together and to see everybody. And that's it. So Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
So Rabbi Bernie's probably still out in his sukkah. He was going to lead the beer cut, so he's not here yet. But I I wanted to say, I don't know if you saw the photographs, the little montage we put together of a few of our few years ago, the past couple of years of the school building, and not building, but decorating the sukkah. And of course, there was Susan Sugarman singing "Take Me Out to the Sukkah." I don't know, but she's a crazy Red Sox fan. And so it was a, it's good to see these photographs and these pictures of our kids doing up the things out there still. These are in our minds. I said this earlier. I said it during Rosh Hashanah and then on Yom Kippur. We have so many things that we can remember and go back to. The virtual services are letting us have an ability to think back to where we were. So it's great that we have that ability, and hopefully next year we're thinking about how it was when we were on Zoom and we're back together again. So hopefully that'll be happening. All right, I don't see Rabbi Bernie. He's outside in his sukkah and he's lost track of time. So I guess no, his camera's off, his mic's off. He's probably out there doing a l'chaim tovim. He's enjoying the simcha, chag simchatenu. So is he here? Nah, his camera's off, his mic's off. He's probably having a l'chaim tovim.
He's having a good time in the sukkah.
He's having a good time. So we want to start. We'll do Shir Hamala, and if he comes in, I'll let him take over. So the grace after meals is always said after we eat a meal, and we do motzi, and we've sat down and enjoyed God's ability to give us sustenance. So we thank him for that every Shabbat, every day, every time we eat. Shir hamalo b'shuv Adonai et shivat Zion hayinu kechol mimajim alei tzchok pinu shanenu rina. Az yomru v'agoyim higdil Adonai la'asot imele, higdil Adonai la'asot imanu, hayinu smechim shuv Adonai et shevitenu kafikim b'negev, azorim bedima berina yichzoru. Haloch yelech uvacho nose meshech hazora bo yavo verina nose alu matav chihilat Adonai yedaber pivi varech kol basar shem kadsho leolam ba'ed v'anachnu nevarech ya meyatavi ad olam hallelujah hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto mi yimalel kivurot Adonai Yashmiya kol tehilato. He's still out enjoying the festival. We talk about Chag Simchatenu, the festival of joy, the festival of happiness. And Rabbi Bernie is doing exactly what you should be doing on this festival. He's enjoying himself. He's totally lost track of time. So I'll continue. Chaverai nevarech.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
I thought it said 7 o'clock I was supposed to come on.
6:50. I was buying time for you. I got us through the Shir Hamala. Take it away. Chaverai nevarech.
Chaverai nevarech. Yehi Shem Ranakma Taver Olam.
Shem Ranakma Taver Olam.
V'Shum Ranakma Shachal Mishlov Tavo Hayinu.
Shachal Mishlov Tavo Hayinu.
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo. Chata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Hazan et Haolam Kulo B'Tuvo B'Chein B'Chesed U'Rachamim Hu Noten Lechem L'Chol Basar Ki Li'olam Chasto Tuvo HaGadol Tamid Lo Chasar Lanu V'Yal Yachsar Lanu Ma'azon Li'olam Va'ed Ba'avor Shemo HaGadol Ki Hu El Zanim Fanes LaKol HaMeitiv LaKol HaMekim Hazon L'Chol Briotav Asher bara baruch atah Adonai hazan et hakol.
Amen.
No delichan Eloheinu shanka lavotenu v'imotenu eretz kamdat Torah chava v'yotzitzitan Eloheinu eretz Yitzrayim v'ditan v'yadabadim v'abritan shenakam b'sarenu v'altorat k'shel madatanu v'chalkenu shodatanu v'chamken k'shonatanu v'alchilam azon shetazanu mefarnei sotanu tamid b'chol yom u'b'chol eid u'b'chol sha'ah. Mial hakol and Eloheinu naknu modim lakvarchim o tagid barakshim kabapikol taitam ilugalam ba'ed kakatu v'yachalta v'savata v'rakta Adonai Elohecha al haaretz atov shenatan lak baruch atah Adonai al haaretz v'al hamazon.
Amen.
Rachem and Eloheinu v'sholamecha v'yishlam mirecha v'yamutzam mishkodecha v'amachupet v'shikecha v'abayker v'shikashim chalav Eloheinu avinu re'enu zunenu parnaseinu v'chalkenu v'arach lanu Adonai Eloheinu mehem v'kotzorotenu v'na'al tatrichenu Adonai Eloheinu lo lidei matna basa v'dam v'lo lidei halvatam Kiem liad kamlu chabdecha v'joshavarcha v'ashlone bosh v'loni kalem leolam va'ed.
Forgot your toolbar's on the bottom, isn't it? Okay, I'll move it up.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
I'm sorry about that.
V'areinu na'aleinu b'nacham etzironi recha v'nyani v'shleim yikatchecha ki atahu u'bal ha'yeshua u'bal ha'nechamot. And for festivals,
Yeah,
I think it jumped up a little high. There we
yeah,
go.
it jumped. Well, it's back.
That's all right. Eloheinu levoteinu v'imotenu ya'alev yavo v'geri otev shom v'yipakav yisakeh zekronenu figdonenu v'zekron avotenu v'imotenu v'zekron meshig ben eredecha v'zekron yushleim erkachecha v'zekron kolon kabei yishol afanecha uvlei telotov v'chein l'chesaron l'chaim shalom b'yom chag Sukkot hazeh zakreinu Eloheinu b'olatova.
Amen.
Ufagdenu v'olevracha.
Amen.
Yoshienu v'olechayim.
Amen.
Midvay shuv rachmim chusvanen rachem alem shienu ki alakanenu kem chanun rachumata.
Ubenei.
Uvenei Yerushalayim HaKodesh b'mher Rabbi Yameinu Baruch atah Adonai.
No.
Bonei berachamav Yerushalayim. Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Elavinu Malkeinu Adirenu Borenu Golenu Yoterenu Kedoshenu Kedosh Yaakov. Ro'enu Ro'ei Yisrael HaMelech V'Atov Meitiv L'Kol Shabkol Yom V'Yom Hu Heitiv Hu Meitiv Hu Yeitiv Lanu Hu Gmal Lanu Hu Gom Leinu Hu Yigmalenu Lad L'Cheil Chesed L'Rachamim L'Orev V'Atzal V'Yatzlach Bracha V'Yeshua Nechma Parnas V'Chalkala V'Rachamim V'Chaim V'Shalom B'Chol Tov Umi Kol Tov Le'Olam Al Yechasreinu. Harachamon hu yamloch aleinu le'olam ba'ed.
Amen.
Harachamon yitbrak v'shmanu va'aretz.
Amen.
Harachamon hu yishbak l'dodorim.
Amen.
Yidbavanu la'adul netzach netzachim.
Amen.
Yidatabanu la'adul only olamim.
Amen.
Harachamon hu r'fetzenu b'chavod.
Amen.
Harachamon hu yishbro aleinu mi'al tzavarenu v'holukenu kumas li'artzenu.
Amen.
Harachamon hu yishlach lanu bracha marbu v'bayis hazeh v'al shulchan zeh.
Shalchanu Allah. Arachaman yishlach lanu et Elianu anavi zakol tova v'selanu b'sro tova Yeshua v'nechamot. Here's why I did that. Oh,
Yes, thank you for doing that. I
yeah,
can't
it
see
did
it.
scroll. All right, here we go.
Harakamon, you break it. Kol hamasubin kan. Everybody who's here. Otanu vet kol ashelanu kamotion at programatenu Avram Yitzchak Yaakov kol kol. Vimotenu Sarah Rivka Rachav Aleah Hatel Meitib Lakol. Kenya Vareko Tanu Kulanu Yachad Bivracha Shalema Vinomar Amen. Bamarom Yilam Du Alehem Aleinu Zakutem Mishmeret Shalom. Vinisa Rakam Ektan and Austakam Heshenu. Nitzachem Vesechel Tobe and Elahim Adam. Harakamon Yuvreka Chenu B'nai Yisrael Anu Timet Zaravitzim Yafele Ora.
Amen.
Harakamon Yuvreka V'dinat Yisrael Reichit Smikat Gulatenu.
Amen.
Harakaman Huitain Akra Ben B'nai Saro Ben B'nai Hagar.
Amen.
That's a different one.
That's a different one. Yeah.
Harakaman Huyad Chilen Yom Shekulo Shabbat Menucha L'chaye Olamim.
Amen. Sukkot.
Harakaman Huyan Kilen Yom
There you go.
Shekulo Tov Basukat Harakaman Huyakim Lanu Et Sukat Davinano Faled.
That's also different. Harachaman.
Harakaman Who's Kelimot Hamashiach L'chaye Haolam Haba. Migdoshu out wait, Harakamon is going to Mashil Revel, Migdoshu out Mal, Kovio, Sekasa Limchi, Kole David Uzaro, Adolam, O se Shalom Mamavu, Ya se Shalom, Alenuvi, Alko Yisrael, Viyamoru, Amen.
Yeru.
Adonai, Kidoshav, Kiyen Maxon, the Re'av, Firumashuv, Ra'ivu, Shusherana, the Sukkot, Hogdul Adonai, Kito, Kili Olam, Chasto Poteach et Yadecha, Umas Bilko, Chairaton Baruch, Hageva, Shiv Takbaron, Aviayanai, Miptako, Hey Na, Haiti comes the country below, Raiti Tsarnezov, Zaram Avakesh, Lachem Adonai, Osleamo Yitain, Adonai Yivarek et Tamo Bashalom. Hey, yai da 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 yai da da yada da 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 yai da 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 yai da da yada da 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 yai da 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 bum bum pa 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 pi pa pa yada da da pu pa 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 ti ta pa pa pum. Hey,
I know that there's a bunch of people that like that extended version, but to be honest, it's fun, right? It's a joy. It's good.
It's the spirit of the davening and the happiness.
Hey, how was your sukkah? How was it out there?
Well, it was a little rainy and drippy, so we did our kiddush and motzi and everything, but then we ate inside. But tomorrow morning, hopefully, we'll be doing it outside.
So it was good. It was good. All right.
It was awesome.
All right. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. It says, you're supposed to be happy. And if it's drippy and wet, you're not really enjoying it, are you? So they say you should enjoy the experience. So you go out, you do your kiddush and motzi and whatever, and do the leshev and do the joy. And then some people are just going to sit there and be wet, but then you're not enjoying the mitzvah. So we want you to enjoy the mitzvah.
Right.
All right. So given that it is a chag, tonight, remember that problem we had last week with the Siddur? Well, we started to have a problem again. So I can, let's see if I can get a little bigger than that. Okay, good. It works. We're going to start tonight with the Psalm for Shabbat, because we don't bring a chag and a Shabbat in with Kabbalat Shabbat. You don't want to insult the festival, right? It's more about, it's kind of like when you don't, you keep the challah covered when you're doing the kiddush, right? So you don't insult the challah. But really, what are we learning? You think the challah has feelings? I don't know, Rabbi, did your challah have any feelings tonight?
Yeah, it was called delicious.
Yeah, delicious. The feelings of delicious. But when you did the kiddush, you had it covered. You showed us your cover, and It was a beautiful cover. And you do that not necessarily because the challah can feel bad, but it teaches us respect. It teaches us how to respect even inanimate objects and things. So we're not going to bring in Shabbat the way we normally do, because it's also the festival, and we don't want to hurt the festival's feelings, because Kabbalat Shabbat is for Shabbat. And Shabbat, it kind of gets it, and it says, it's fine. I get this thing every week, so I'll put up with this Shabbat, all right? So let's do the song for Shabbat, Rabbi, and then we'll start off with the Tzadikah tomorrow. A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I'm anointed with fragrant oil. I've seen the downfall of my foes, and I've heard the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age, and they shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just. To whom there's, I can't see it in the bottom of my
My
screen.
rock, in whom
My rock,
there
in
is
whom
no
there
flaw.
is no flaw.
You gotta move your toolbar. And we'll sing Tzadikat Tamar. You can do that tonight. Tzadikat Tamar.
Tzadika Tamar Yefrach Ke'erez Bavanon Yizkeh Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvon B'Seva Tishenim V'Rananim Yiyu Lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Sori V'Lo Avlatabo.
Adonai Malach Elevation.
Edotecha ne'amnu mi'od lebetka nava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim.
And those of you that are saying Kaddish for a loved one, a yortzeit or a loved one, you may turn your mics on and join Rabbi Bernie as he leads you now in the Mourner's Kaddish. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 24 if you're following in a Siddur.
Yit gadol, v'yit gadol, Yitbarach, v'yishtaba, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitroma, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalech, v'yitalal, shemei dechija barichu, le'ela minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechelata, tamram v'yoma v'yom. Yehei Shlomar Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Yalko Yisrael V'Yamru Amen. Oseh Shalom Kimrama Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yalko Yisrael V'Yamru Amen.
Amen. And at this time, it is time for the Marav Baruch Hu. If you'd like to join us with your mics open for the Baruch Hu repeat, you may. However, I will warn you, it is a different nusach tonight. It is the Yom Tov melody, so don't get fooled. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. And we'll ask everyone to please mute their microphones. Rabbi, why don't you lead them in the praise they're you?
Praise are you, Adonai, our God who rules the universe. Your word bringing the evening dusk. You open with wisdom the gates of dawn. Design the day with wondrous skill. Set out the succession of seasons and arrange the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tzavot, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall forever embrace us. Praise are you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk.
Umavir Yamamevi Laila Umabdil Ben Yamavein Laila Adonai Tzavot Shemo El Chai B'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Amari Baravi Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Hafta Torah Mitzvot Nifshayim Ki Hei Mechayenu V'Yorach Yomenu V'Hem Negei Yamam V'Layla
ואהבתך אל תעשה ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו Yisrael. If you wish to join us, you may now open your mics for the Shema, and then please remute right after the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please remute your mics, and Rabbi Bernie will do the V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvelachtecha vaderech, uveshachbecha uvekumecha, ukashatam liot al yadecha, vehayu letotafod beineinecha, uketavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvesharecha.
As we continue silently, Hayam Shema.
Leman yirbu yemeikem v'imei v'nechem al hadama asher nishba Adonai lavotechem latet lahem kim yashamayim al haaretz. Vayomer Adonai al Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amata aleihem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei v'gdeihem ledorotam v'natnu al tzitzit hakana patil techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit uritem oto Uzachatem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'yasitem otam v'lo taturu acharei levavchem b'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkaru v'yasitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lalohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem. Amen. B'miracles of the Kamalinu. U'malchuto b'ratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe b'nei Yisrael echanu shira v'simcha rabah v'amru chulam michamocha bo'elim Adonai michamocha nedar b'kodesh norati lo tosei p'alai malchutecha ra'u b'necha b'keyam lifnei Moshe Zeilianu v'yameru Adonai imloch leolam va'ev v'nemar k'v'nai Yaakov kolom yad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Gal Yisrael. I'm going to ask you to keep your mics closed at this time with so many people in the room. And Rabbi Bernie will lead you. You can read along with him with your mics muted. Be Hashkivenu in the English.
Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guide our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ushmor tzeiteinu voenu l'chayim u'shalom me'ata v'yad olam ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha baruch atah Adonai aparei sukat shalom aleinu v'yal kol amo Yisrael v'yal Yerushalayim. It is Shabbat. And so, since it's Shabbat, we'll stand for Vishamru and sing the Vishamru song that we all know so well. Rabbi?
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam, oti li'olam, oti li'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et ha'aret vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
Kayla, thank you for that. Awesome, awesome. Vayidaber Moshe Moed Adonai el bnei Yisrael.
Vayidaber Moshe Moed Adonai el bnei Yisrael. Thus Moses proclaimed the festivals of Adonai before the people Israel. And we rise now with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrachirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'bizman kari v'yemaru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbam mevarach le'olam u'lol me'omaya.
Yidbarach.
Yidbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiromam v'yidnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kodesha.
Barichu.
Barichu le'elam min kol bechata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damihiran b'yama v'yimaru. Amen. And now the Amida for the festival, 41 A or B, if you choose, if you have a Siddur at home. 41 will include the passages for Shabbat. It is silent. We're going to say it softly, though, for those that may need a little extra help with the Hebrew. And I do want to remind you folks, sometimes people say, gee, you read so fast. Well, we're doing the part that's quiet. We're doing the part that normally you say to yourselves quietly. We're doing it louder, a little bit on the loud side, so that those of you that may need some help with the Hebrew are having it said either for you or you can follow along if you wish. Use the English, use the prayers in your heart, but that explains why we are doing things a little bit quicker when we are doing this soft and quiet stuff. Anyway, the Amida is silent. Don't forget, for those of you that may have forgotten between 7 o'clock and now, it is Chag HaSukkot, the festival of Sukkot. ונאמן אתה כל מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה הקדוש ושמך הקדוש, קדושים בחיים מפסל ברוך עיני, האוהל הקדוש, אתה בראתנו מכל אבים, ואתה בראתנו ותטפנו, ורמתנו מכל מנשנה וקדושתנו במצוותיך, וקרבתנו מלכנו ולבטח, בשמך גדול וקדוש, עלינו קראת ותהי, תן לנו לנביא הבא, שבתות ומלכה, מודים לשמחה, חגים מזמנים ששון את יום השבת הזה, ואת יום חג הסוכות הזה, זמן שמחתנו. באהבה מקרא קודש, שכל יציאת מצרים, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, יעלה ויבוא ויגיע וירא ויצא וישמע ויבכה וזכר קטננו וזכרנו בקטננו וזכרנו בותנו וזכרנו משיח בן דוד עבדך, וזכרנו ירושלים וקודשך, וזכרנו כל מכבד ישוע פניך, ופליטת תפילתנו חסד רחמים וחיים ושלום ביום חג הסוכות הזה. זכרנו אלוהינו בעוד טובה, ויפקדנו בעוד ברכה, ויושענו בעוד לחיים, וישועה ברחמים חוס וחנים ורחם עלינו, וקדשנו כי לך עינינו, כי על מלכנו ורחמת ועשיינו. אדוני אלוהינו ברכת מועדך אליכם ושלום ושמחה וששון כאשר רצית ואמרת אלוהינו, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו רצית בנפחתנו קדשנו ומצוותיך ותנחנו בתורתך, וסעבנו בטובך ושעבנו בישועתך, ותעלה בפני עבדך באמת. והנחילנו אלוהינו באהבה וברצון, בשמחה וששון, שבת ומועדי קודשך, ישמחו בך ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, קדש השבת בישראל והזמנים. וזכרנו אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ופעילתם, וישב את עבודתם בביתך, ותפילתם בבת תקבל ברצון, ויהי רצון תמיד עבודת ישראל, עמך ותחזינו, הנני בשביל כל הציון ברחמים, ברוך עמי, המחזיר שיחדנו לציון, מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה אלוהינו ולנו ואצלך, הנה מגן ישנו ודור לדור ודור, דרך הנזפת תהילתך ברכינו, נעשו בידך, לשפוטנו בכוחך, ונשתך שבכל עמנו, ונפלותך בתוכך שבכל עדים וברוכת וצלם, הטוב כי לא חמך, ורמחים כי לא תמוך חסדך, מעולם קיווינו לך ועל כולם, ורב יבלם שמך מכן תמיד עולם ובכל החיים ובסלע ובשמך באמת, הישועתנו ושרידנו סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך לכנה להודות, שלום רב, הישמך ולא כל ישועי תיבות חסים לעולם. יתהו מלך אדון לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, ברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. I'm going to ask you to keep your mics muted as Rabbi Bernie will now lead you in the passage for the conclusion of the Amida in English. Please read with him with your mics muted.
My God, keep my tongue from evil, my lips from lies, and help me ignore those who would slander me. Let me be humble before all. Open my heart to your Torah, that I may pursue your mitzvot. Frustrate the designs of those who plot evil against me, and make nothing of their schemes. Act for the sake of your compassion, your power, your holiness, and your Torah. Answer my prayer for the deliverance of your people. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my redeemer. May the one who brings peace to his universe bring peace to us and to all the people of Israel. Amen.
Amen. And we sing, O se shalom bimromav, O yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. V'yimaru.
Amen.
Let's do the psalm or the prayer. Let's do the prayer for healing. We've got people who are ill, and we need to ask God to give them refuah shlema. I'll ask you at this time, if you wish to open your microphones and say the name of someone who is ill or people who are ill, if you wish to name them. When I stop, you may do so. And then please remute your microphones. A lot of people in here tonight, so you're going to talk over each other. That's fine. Misha berach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Rabbi Kavarachel b'Leyahu Yivarech v'Rafei et.
Tova Bak Shmuel Elka.
Ben Hannah.
Elisa Zimmerman.
Aaron Jolin.
President and Mrs. Trump.
Okay.
Al Zimmerman, Juan Barrios, and Tina Hawkins.
And Mrs. Trump. Yeah.
Deb Schultz and Richard Schultz.
Everybody on
Abraham Ben Hannah.
I think we're
If
good.
everyone has completed, please close your microphones. Kol hacholim b'kila kadosh hakadosh baruch hu yimalei rachamim aleihem lahachazikam lufrotam v'yishlach lahem ira u'refuah shlema min hashamayim frat hanefesh frat haguf b'toch shlech al Yisrael Shabbat hi v'yom tov hi milu zokufor koravo lavo hashta b'grav zman kariv and omar. Amen. May God bring blessing and healing to all those that were just mentioned, including, of course, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and his wife, and all those who may be suffering COVID in the White House and in our government, people who may be suffering from illnesses anywhere, people everywhere who may be suffering, not just in our congregation, but people everywhere. They are all part of our family. May the Holy One mercifully restore them to health and to vigor, granting them physical and spiritual well-being, together with all people everywhere who may be ill. Misha beherach avotenu Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha beherach imotenu mikor habracha leabotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say Amen. We ask God to bring healing to all who are ill, and we all together say Amen. And now we'll turn to page 47, and we normally rise for the Vayachulu. We're back to the Shabbat mode, the Shabbat Nusach. Why not? After all, Shabbat trumps everything. And so, Rabbi Bernie, Vayachulu.
Vayechulu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikom melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et Yom HaShvi'i ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, אלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות בדברו, מחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קדשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, מעון הברכות אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת, ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה ליעמדו שני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, רצה במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך ותחלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בשועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו, מאהבה ורצון שבת קדשך, וינוחו ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Yikral v'yikara shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yirotei v'yamelech malchatei b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayechol Beit Yisrael bagala v'zman kariv v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'lo me'omaya.
Yitbarach.
Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yibar v'yirumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadav v'yitalav v'lo shemei v'yitnaseh.
Barichu.
Richu le'elamin kol v'chatav v'shiratat v'shvachatav v'nakmatat damiram v'yamav v'yimru.
Amen. Amen.
Yehei Shlom Rabba Min Shemai v'chaim al Nevi al Kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen. As you can see, I've gone back outside to the sukkah. For those of you that are joining us now for the service, and not, I have all sorts of troubles tonight with this thing. For those of you joining us for the service tonight and not for the dinner, welcome. And it is appropriate for us to do Kiddush for everybody. Whether you did it or not, we do it during the service as well. Normally we go right outside the sukkah, so if you look behind me, there it is. Mimi, did you pour the wine tonight? See if she,
Wine's all poured.
Wine's poured?
All poured. And grape juice.
You got the grape juice going?
Yep.
Did you put out the honey cake and all the stuff that you put out there in the sukkah?
It's all in the sukkah, Rabbi. I'm waiting for you.
All in the sukkah, okay. So we're in the sukkah, and for those of you joining us for the first time, we'll do the Kiddush, and we're in the sukkah. And so we will do the Leishev tonight. And if you do not have a sukkah, we're doing it for you. to help you fulfill the mitzvah. You got to find yourself a sukkah. Go outside, just watch out for the fox and the other things that are out there. And we'll do Leshev tonight, then Shachan. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagofen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'am v'romamanu mikol asher v'kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'atiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yava shabbatot limnucha u'modim l'simcha Chagim uzmanim l'soson et yom haShabbat hazeh v'et yom Chag haSukkot hazeh zman simchateinu b'yava mikra kodesh zech l'tziat Mitzrayim Ivanu v'achar taviotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'Shabbat u'modeh kodeshecha b'yava v'ratzon v'simcha v'sason hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat Yisrael v'hazmanim. If you look behind us, we're both sitting in the sukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu leishev b'sukkah.
Amen.
And everybody, we've reached a beautiful moment. Everybody sing out. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu Lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Second one tonight. In the sukkah, though. So, Rabbi,
yes.
Normally at this time,
yes.
I do a devar, but not on Sukkot. You've heard enough from me, you know, the high holidays, Yom Kippur, you know, we're doing all this joyous stuff. You don't need to hear from me. What I want to do is, and I want to be make sure people are very cautious with this, please use there's a thing at the bottom of your participants thing. It actually allows you to put a check mark, a yes or a no in the chat box, and not in the chat box, but in the list. I wanted to know if anybody has any moments during Sukkot that really and truly stand out. I remember when I was a kid, I was actually born in Des Moines, Iowa. And everybody knows why, because I wanted to be near my mother. We know that, right? But I was born in Des Moines, Iowa. And it was back in 1964 where my folks decided to move us from Iowa to New York and then to Providence. And I remember as a child, our father, Olav Shalom, and mother would build a sukkah. My father pretty much built it. My mother would help us decorate it and get it ready. But he made it out of wood planks, and he had the joints in it, so he would not ever use any nails. And as a child, you know, remember, I was really young in those days. I still remember getting into the sukkah in Des Moines, Iowa, and with the wood around us and the schach above us, the schach, you know, the corn stalks in Iowa. I mean, that was easy to get. You just went around the corner. It was there, right? And looking up and seeing the stars and seeing God. And it's funny because every time I go into a sukkah today, I think back to those times when I was a child looking up for the first time and really truly seeing the beauty of a sukkah. And I took that with me through my life. And I remember, you know, the many years that have gone through and gone on where we've spent so many times in the sukkah singing and carrying on. And one year, of course, I'm sure you all remember the year of the snow. You remember the snowstorm, but we still went out and enjoyed it. So I thought tonight, maybe a couple of you or a few of you might want to share some unique Sukkot experiences. Rabbi, have you had any unique experiences of Sukkot growing up or through your life?
Just, you know, once in a while we get too many of the wasps, and it would make me nuts. And my father would just go like this and say, "Stop worrying about them. They won't bother you." And I'd sit there with my sister and brother and like be scared of the bees, thinking they're going to sting us. But they were after the chicken, and he ate most of the chicken. You know, but anyways, that was only it. But it was nice. I got my first sukkah when I was probably about 15 or 16. And after that, I just started learning to build my own. But they've all been really pleasant experiences. I remember some Sukkot where it's so cold, you got to wear a winter coat. And there was one Sukkot was so hot, I was sitting out there with a tank top, I was still hot. So I'm hoping this year it'll be warm.
It'll be beautiful. It's going to be in the 50s and 60s. All right. Does anyone want to share? I think the Shermans opened up their mic, but I wasn't sure. Judith, did you want to say something? Judith? Where is she now? I've lost her. All right. Why don't we get Roz and then Arlene? Roz or Marvin? One of you two.
Yes. When we first got married, we were living in New Jersey, and I was working as a computer programmer in New York City. And it was during the Sukkot season. And a friend of mine who was religious, we left the building, and this is Midtown Manhattan, would you believe it? We went to another building, and would you believe it or not, there was a sukkah built on top, on one of the decks of the building. It was just a fabulous idea. And from all over Midtown Manhattan, we had a tremendous meal and tremendous benching. And also may I say that in Manhattan anyway, there was actually a regular minyan in one of the adjoining buildings. If you could make it, you would have the opportunity, and a great one, to daven mincha before you went home.
Beautiful, beautiful. Those are great memories. We see those, of course, in New York or in Israel. Arlene, you're next, and the Pranskys.
Okay. I'm sure that David and Alan remember the most memorable Sukkot experience we had. We were at our cousin's home, stringing cranberries and popcorn to hang in their sukkah in, I believe they lived in Somerville at the time. And all of a sudden we looked out and we saw in the distance, smoke was rising.
Oy.
And it turned out that it was the Great Chelsea Fire of many years ago.
Yeah.
And it happened that one of Morty's cousins had a factory in that area. And he made a phone call, and he quickly ran to Chelsea to make sure that they could save their business from the big fire in Chelsea. And I'll never forget how we all stood there watching the smoke rise as we strung our cranberries.
Amazing, amazing. All those things you never forget, and they happen on the holiday. All right, thank you for that. Pranskys.
I think, if I remember correctly, and Mimi and Marilyn, our friend Marilyn may remember the year when we were at Killeth Israel in Brookline, we actually had a hurricane come through. And, but the bulk of the sukkah, and I think the bulk of the sukkah held up pretty well and had to be kind of reconstructed afterwards. But for the most part, it wasn't totally blown away. So I think Hashem was watching over us that year.
2 days ago, we had almost a hurricane here too, for the people that built them a little bit early. So yeah.
Right.
Anyone else want to say a few words? I don't see anybody's hands up or check marks, but if you do want to say something, open your mic. You can do that. You can do that. If not, go ahead. The Spitzers and then the Lubarskis.
Well, we have a really beautiful remembrance of Sukkot. We were living in New Jersey when our babies were born. And when they were about 3, they went into their first sukkah. It was a permanent sukkah, and it was in the shape of a Jewish star. It was absolutely beautiful. And I remember 2 gorgeous little redheaded girls running around in little green coats that my aunt had made them. And they had an apple in one hand and a candy bar in the other. And the Sukkot was really it was a beautiful piece of work. And the Sukkot was put on stationery, and actually then we used them for our Rosh Hashanah cards. So we had a really beautiful Sukkot in New Jersey every year. And then Mr. Lappin kindly gave everybody who wanted one a sukkah locally, so a kit. So both of my girls for many years had Sukkot in their yard. And after we would have a little meal and a little singing, and the kids were little and they decorated, we would sit around a little fire pit and kind of do the s'mores thing. So Sukkot has really been beautiful for all those years.
Beautiful. That's, yeah, and thank God, for Mr. Lappin, what he did for the community and giving people Sukkot. What a beautiful mitzvah. Thank you for sharing that. And now you all know why I didn't do good news tonight. Adele?
Mark.
Okay.
Mark.
Picking up from what Rhonda just said, the year that Lappin handed out the Sukkot, we got one, and it took me a couple of days to get everything assembled. And then a certain individual said, we must decorate the inside. So I'm painting it and putting wallpaper on the inside, and it looked just tremendous. The only problem
It was a very pretty color of green.
yeah, it was just the best looking sukkah you'd ever seen. And then we attached it to the house so that you could go out our back door and into the sukkah. The only problem was that was the year that there was some very strong winds.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden it sounded like a freight train. And I looked out and I could see the sukkah going from where we attached it, moving stage right across the deck. That was the end of the sukkah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we can all relate to that one year, at least where they fall down or whatever. Yeah, those are good memories. They're amazing, amazing. Anyone else, if you wish, you can open your mic. If not, we'll be all set. Mona.
My sukkahs had 3 different incarnations. One was with wood panels like your father made. And then we moved them here, and we had 2 incarnations, one with PVC pipes.
Mhm.
And the last one, we built a pergola so that we would have a permanent sukkah. When we were building the PVC pipes, we had to label every single pipe because I made Sam build it to this exact diameter of my deck, and with the ins and outs and jogs, which made him crazy. So every year we would have to make sure we labeled it
Mhm.
and put it on. We always had big sukkah parties on Chol HaMoed Sukkot, the Sunday of Chol HaMoed Sukkot. We would have like 30, 40 people
Mhm.
over the house for an Italian sukkah party. And excuse me?
An Italian Jewish sukkah party, right?
Exactly, because you could make big trays of lasagna or eggplant or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was always so much fun. And then we would have different people every night for the holiday for dinner. We'd have 4 to 8 people, 12 people every night. It was a lot of fun.
As Archie and Edith used to say, those were the days, right?
Yep.
That's for sure. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else, if you do want to share, open mic? Otherwise, show the Adlers in Rhode Island, I think.
Yeah, Rhode Island. So growing up in North Miami Beach, we belonged to this nice temple, and we used to have a sukkah, and my mom used to make really good chillent. And so like Mrs. Maisel, we used to get the rabbi every year to come. And that was just a great memory, and it was always fun, and it always stayed with me. And we're blessed that we had a sukkah with the kids growing up, and ours went up this year. But what really means the most to me about Sukkot is it's my dad's yurt site, and he's been gone 35 years. On Wednesday is his yurt site, and on that day I'll be doing a sukkah program in our memory unit at the assisted living, and it always gives me a wonderful and it always gives me a wonderful opportunity to talk about my father with just such beautiful memories of Sukkot, and to give all the residents an opportunity to shake the lulav. So that's it, and happy Sukkot, and thank you for allowing us to always join you.
Oh, gosh, of course. And you do such a mitzvah there in Rhode Island, too, with Tamarisk Assisted Living, a place that's very fun to me because my parents of blessed memory lived there, and I know what you're doing some great work there as well. So, no, thank you. Join us. Please join us. Anyone else with a mic open that would like to say a few words? If not, I see the praise. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you, and then I'll give it to Judith. Go ahead.
One more experience. There's a very interesting thing that happens during the Sukkot holiday. We had the great fortune being able to be in Israel, in Yerushalayim on Sukkot. And the most amazing thing happened. Evangelicals from all over the world gather in because this is a holiday for them as well. Very many celebrate it as Tabernacle. And they have a huge parade that goes through the center of Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim, during on Chol Hamoed, Sukkot, that takes 4 or 5 hours to complete. There's 10,000 people from all over the world. They carry banners, they wear native dress, they come over and they hug you and kiss you, and it's an incredible experience. So that's another one of our wonderful.
And there's a sukkah on every deck in Jerusalem on Sukkot.
Yes, there is. And we went to one of the biggest sukkahs in the world, which is near City Hall in Yerushalayim. It's built on top of an ice skating rink.
Yeah, they're amazing.
The ice wasn't down. But
Judith, did you want to say something, Judith? I think your microphone was open and now it's closed again, and I don't know where you are. But if you want to say a word, Judith, do that, please. Open your mic. Judith?
Did you unmute?
I'll unmute you, Judith. Gary, I'll get you next in 1 second. Judith, did you want to say something? Let's see where she is. I don't see her right now.
I'll unmute. I can unmute her.
Oh, can you see her? Why don't
Yeah.
you go ahead and unmute her?
Oh, it just jumped to Ellen. Wait a minute. Hold on. She's talking.
Hey,
Wait a
Judith,
minute.
hang on a
Wait a
second.
minute. Hold on, Judith. I'm putting S to unmute, but I can't do it.
No, Judith, we can't hear you, so open up your mic, and Gary, you'll be next, all right? And maybe
There
I.
she is. She's okay now.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Judith,
Judith.
go
You're
ahead.
open.
Judith, go
Okay,
ahead.
can you hear me?
We do,
Yes.
Okay, well, some years ago, I took my family back to my village of origin, and I wrote it up, and this is just a brief description of the sukkah, okay? Our sukkah is sturdy. It does not provide shelter for its inhabitants. Instead, they were provided temporary shelter in the wagon trains, not to the promised land, but to the land of annihilation in that profane place of concentration camps. Was future history built into the walls of this sukkah to preserve it as a stronghold against the destructive forces of the Nazis? Is it a memorial for the village, a memorial of remorse? Once Jews lived here, and where were they? Is God preserving this small, modest structure as a reminder for himself? This sukkah is imbued with sacredness to me and to my family. It is not a national shrine, but it is my assessment in my assessment, it is a universal shrine, a shrine of defiance against experts of profanity. When standing next to this sukkah, I hear echoes of celebrations of old. Since we are on a legacy journey, I transplant all of us to the Sinai desert where it all started by celebrating even this imaginary celebration. We are the embodiment of the festival of Sukkot. The small sukkah is the only structure that is still standing in my village, and that's the miracle of it.
Oh my, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Judith, for sharing that with us. You're an amazing person. I know you don't like me to say that, so I'll stop saying it, but she's an amazing person. People, don't let her hear me say it anymore. Thank you so much. Gary Spar, you had your mic open? Come on open, Gary.
I did, but I was going to be silly, and after listening, I don't know how appropriate that is. So let's just all have a good time and be happy.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, tomorrow night I'll let you talk. We're going to wrap it up, I think, at this point. But I just want to tell you that there's a reason we did this for many this year because of COVID, which is a very serious situation we're living through, obviously. Some of you will not be able to get out literally and do the mitzvah of dwelling in a sukkah. I hope you just did. I hope you just did. Because as I tell people always when we have a loss, memory is the best healer. Communicating our memories is the way to bring us alive and bring back the people who we love that we're thinking about. In this particular case, it's those memories of Sukkot. It's the memories of being able to go out and peacefully dwell in the sukkah without fear of getting ill or getting sick. And this year is an exception for some folks who can't do it. And I hope and pray that by doing what we just did, you entered your own personal sukkah, your own shelter that physical, temporary shelter that'll get us through these holidays of joy. And with that, we'll say amen.
Amen.
And let's see if I can find it. And we're going to get to the Aleinu. Rabbi Bernie's going to lead you all. You can open your mic. I don't care. Go ahead. Have a party. Aleinu, page 51.
Aleinu l'shabbat l'adon hakol atedula liyotzeh bereshit shelo asanu kriye haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam cholkenu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol amonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech malchei hamlechim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu notes shamayim v'yosei daret U'moshev yekaro b'shamayim imal U'shkinatu zo v'gam meromim U'Eloheinu echad Ve'melekenu echad zulato Kakatu v'torato v'yadata hayom v'yadata hayom v'hachevota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim ha'shamayim mima'al v'al ha'aretz mitachad Eino. Okay, let me hear it. The ticket which we got is a close schmacker. Half the goes, you will be pulled up be couple of phones on the tap down while it come up. Kaka Toba Torah Tech Adonayim lovely and loved. Bayom Hahu Adonai Echad Ushema Echad Ushema Echad.
And now I'll ask everybody to please mute your microphones at this point as we are about to do the Kaddish, but I'd like to read this week's Yortzeit list. And then, of course, we'll open it up for those of you that are saying the Kaddish. So please, everybody mute your microphones at this point. This week, our congregation will lovingly recall the Yortzeits of Lillian Kopelnik, Robert Ruby Levine, Hyman Sinitsky, Robin Kasper, Linda Hadney, Christine Lange, Arnold Irving Siegel, Benjamin Benkler, Frida Oppenheim, Andrew S. Gross, and Beatrice Zeid, and Ruth Spitzer. Are there any other Yortzeits that should be announced tonight? If there are, please say the name at this point.
Jeff Webb.
And now for those of you saying Kaddish for a loved one, if you wish to say their name, you may do so at this time.
George Kaplan.
David Krasinski.
Shirley Rosenthal.
Sophia Toby.
May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those mourning and observing the Yortzeit to rise now and praise God's name with the word of the mourner's Kaddish. Let us say the words together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shnei Rabbah. Yalma Amen. Yehei Elamin kol bircha Amiran the Alma Vimru. Amen.
V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom
b'ramav u'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen. And I know many of you are wondering, why are we still doing the Psalm of the Season? Well, the reason is, I mean, after all, the fate was sealed. But on Shmini Atzeret, Hoshana Rabbah, Hoshana Rabbah, at the last day of Sukkot, when we pound the willows, the glue on the envelope of what God's fate was on Yom Kippur, the glue dries. And so between now and Hoshana Rabbah, the last day of Sukkot, next Friday, you have the ability to continue to do mitzvot and to make up for maybe something you shouldn't have done last year. As the glue is drying, you still have one more shot. So if I were you, I would be nice. Rabbi, let us lead the Psalm of the Season, and why don't you lead me? And I'll lead the congregation. We'll ask everyone to please keep their mics muted throughout this, however.
Adonai is my light and my help, whom shall I fear? Adonai is the strength of my life, whom shall I dread?
When evildoers draw near to slander me, when foes threaten, they stumble and fall. Though armies be arrayed against me, I have no fear. Though wars threaten, I remain steadfast in my faith.
One thing I ask of Adonai, for this I yearn, to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty, to pray in God's sanctuary.
Hiding me in his shrine, safe from peril, God will shelter me beyond the reach of disaster and raise my head high above my enemies.
I will bring God offerings with shouts of joy, singing, chanting praise to Adonai.
Adonai, hear my voice when I call. Be gracious to me and answer. It is you whom I seek, says my heart. It is your presence that I seek, Adonai.
Do not hide from me. Do not reject your servant. You have always been my help. Do not abandon me. Forsake me not, my God of deliverance.
Though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will care for me.
Teach me your way, Adonai, and guide me on the right path to confound my oppressors.
Do not abandon me to the will of my foes, for false witnesses have risen against me, purveyors of malice and lies.
Yet I have faith that I shall surely see Adonai's goodness in the land of the living. Hope in Adonai, be strong, take courage, and hope in Adonai. Lu'ulei hamanti l'ropetuv, Adonai be'eretz chaim, kavei el Adonai, chazak v'emetz libecha v'kavei el Adonai.
I had a feeling you'd know that. Now you may open your microphones and join me again for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. For those of you saying Kaddish, let us say it together, slowly and in unison. Yit gadal shemei rabbah b'yalma yirach yamlich malchutei v'chayei v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman karev yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah megorav le'olam le'olam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiramam v'yaseh v'yadar v'yitalech v'yitalal v'yisham le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata tush v'chata nechemata amiram v'yafam v'yamru amen. Amen. Shlomo Rabba min Chayim Aleinu Yisrael Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Yamav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yal Yisrael Amen. Amen. You know what? Before I call on Adele, Gary Spar, you can't do what you did to us. I need to know. I need to know what it was. It was so funny. Now you've had that little break. So go ahead. I need to hear, Gary. What was it you were going to say to us, Gary Spar, if he's still here?
I was just thinking back that, every time Sukkot comes, I have the urge to go to Staples and buy construction paper and Elmer's glue. Or go to the store and buy popcorn and cranberries and string them together.
That's a beautiful memory.
That's a beautiful memory. Well,
Why did you keep me hanging?
It didn't go with the flow at the time.
Thank you for sharing that. Everybody mute your microphones at this time. I'll call upon our president, Adele Labarsky, for our announcements tonight. Everybody mute those microphones, please. Adele?
Erev Tov and Chag Sameach, everybody. Again, I want to thank Todd for preparing close to just under 70 dinners this evening, which was absolutely fabulous. It's just like almost as many people as we'd have at the temple. So it was wonderful. The dinner was delicious. So thank you, Todd. Thank you, Rabbi, for doing the monkey survey, the survey monkey, whatever it's called, to get the reservations. And thanks to Beth and to Ross Teitelbaum for helping get the dinners together and bring them to people in their cars. So it was a group effort. So thank you. Services tomorrow morning, although it's Shabbat, begin at 9 a.m. We will be combined with Temple B'nai Abraham, as we do for all the Chagim. Tomorrow evening, services, the second night of Sukkot, will be at 7 p.m. On Sunday morning, services will be at 9 a.m. again, second day of Sukkot, and we will have a service on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Services every evening are at 7. And Lunch Bunch returns on Tuesday, October 6th with Rabbi Perlman. So I encourage all of you to tune into that. I just want to remind everybody that, first of all, we will be collecting the Machzorim on Sunday, October 18th, between the hours of 10:30 and 12. So you can drop off your Machzors on that day. And also, just remember to look at your daily email to get the link for the Zoom meeting. Zoom is doing some different things. They're changing some things. There've been some trouble with some Zoom bombing, and I think that they have decided to be more careful. So I encourage you to check it out every single day. And Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and I can still see those beautiful green walls of my sukkah with this beautiful wallpaper that we had. Mark laughs about it, but it was absolutely beautiful. And just, if you didn't believe it, you asked my mother and she said it was a work of beauty. So take care, everyone. Thanks again for those who participated in our Shabbat dinner. It was fun. Thank you for those who had the idea to do it. And it was just a good thing to get everybody together, and we'll do more of it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, before we conclude, oh, there's the kids behind me. Before we conclude, we're going to do Yigdal, and then we'll have our L'chaim in the Sukkah behind me. And Rabbi, you had mentioned to me on, I think it was the eve of Kol Nidre.
Yes.
So is this the last time we get to do that beautiful melody for Yigdal? And I said, yes. But you know, I have that other melody that I love using for the Shalosh Regalim. And maybe you'll remember it. I think the last time I did it was Shavuot. And I kind of like it. And hopefully, you know, it'll get you going too. And then by the time we're done with it, you'll be clapping along and singing along, all right?
All right, I'll take it away.
I use this one for the Shalosh Regalim. It only comes up 3 times a year. Let's see, how does it go? Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishavach nimtzav v'yener el metziuto echad v'yen yachid udo melam v'gam mitzof leyachduto. Do you know it?
Yes.
Go.
Ein lo demut haguf v'yeino guf lo na'arok elav kedushato.
Kadman l'chol davar asher nivra Rishon v'en reshit l'reshito.
Ino adon olam b'chol notzai yoreh gedulato malchuto.
Nefan nevuato netano el anshe segulato v'tiparto.
Lo kam b'Yisrael kemo she'od navi umabid et emunato.
Toradem et natan leyamo el al yad neviyo neman beito. Mato.
Lo yachalif ho'er v'lo yamid dato le'olamim lezulato.
Sofer yodea setarenu mabid l'sof davar bekadmato.
Gomer lish chesed k'mifalo noten l'rasha ra kirishato.
Yishlach l'ket yamim v'shichenu liftot mechakeket yeshuato.
Meitim yechaye'er berov chasto baruch hadeya shem tehilato.
Meitim yechayel berov chasto. Baruch Adayad Shem Tehilato.
Oh, I didn't remember it until you started singing it, but that's good.
Love that melody. Don't you love that melody?
I do. I learned so much from you, Rabbi. I have to be honest with you. You know, we do high holiday yigdals, and you know, so it's great. You know, but
Well, I learned from you
all
too,
these
so
new
that
tools.
makes it two of us. You know, you tell me when I learn things from you too. As a matter of fact, we learn from each other always. We all learn from each other.
It's great.
My father told me when I was young, you don't know everything. He was right. I thought I did. All right, let's toast the beautiful joys of Sukkot, Zman Simchatenu, the festival of happiness. Matan Toratenu comes in the summer, but we also have the Torah festival at the end of this thing too, you know.
Right, that's right.
What a
Simchatenu. We're required to be happy. Even if we're not happy, we're required to be happy. So you got to change the mood.
You have no choice. You have to be happy. So, Rabbi, take it away.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh bidvaro lechayim tovim u'shalom lechayim tovim u'shalom lechayim tovim u'shalom. Oh, that's the chorus. That's the chorus.
Chag Sameach, everybody.
And just take 1 minute to wish Dick a happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
happy birthday, Dick.
Happy
birthday. Happy birthday, Dick.
Happy birthday, Dick.
Wait a minute.
birthday, Dick.
Wait a minute. Tomorrow's Dick's birthday?
Yes.
All right. Tomorrow night, when we start services at 7 o'clock, Dick, you have to tell us a spiel. You're going to have to talk for an hour. You have to give us.
Okay.
Don't tell any jokes.
Happy birthday, Dick.
Happy, healthy birthday, Dick.
Happy birthday.
Happy 68.
Many, many